to Bigfoot Society. Members will be hearing a special episode today about an individual, Gene, who has been researching Bigfoot and Dogman at a special undisclosed place in New York State for the last 10 years plus. If you're on the public feed, you'll be hearing a 10-minute teaser, and if you'd like to hear the whole thing, you can become a member over at patreon.com/The Bigfoot Society, or become a YouTube channel member by joining the Bigfoot Posse tier. Best place to join, though, is over on Patreon, as there's some stuff I can put over there that I can't put up on YouTube because they just don't play nice with it. So enjoy, and let's get on with the show. Real quick before we get started, a few people have supported Bigfoot Society one time by buying me a coffee. I really appreciate that. We've got Carol B. bought a coffee. She said, "Good show today, thanks." And Nick G. bought a coffee. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, both of you. Buy me a coffee is an easy way to support the podcast one time if you don't want to get into a community like the Patreon, but you can just send a coffee over, and it helps during the travel season or any season of the year with Bigfoot Society. So again, thank you to Nick and Carol. I appreciate you both. And now let's really get on with the show. All right, Bigfoot Society, I've got the privilege of talking to Gene tonight. Gene is an observer of some things from New York State, is how he puts it. I've been looking forward to talking to Gene tonight. So Gene, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Jeremiah.
So how are things out there in New York State for you?
Oh, they're very hot these last couple of days.
Dangerously hot from what I've seen. I mean, you're up in the hundreds, right?
Close to it, like 97, I think.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're a little bit less than that out here in Iowa, but you know, Gene, we're going to have more of a conversation in this one. We talked about in the pre-interview. And so I'm really curious. You've observed some things over the years, and you've really put down a lot of interesting stuff in our show notes for this. But what kind of started leading you down this road when you started noticing things that are out of the ordinary?
My oldest son had a friend over for the weekend, and my wife was driving him home. And on the way, since the kid doesn't really talk too much, my wife said, "Oh, you see that street there? There was something happened there, a sighting of something years ago." And he looks at her and he says, "You know, they're real." So that piqued her interest. So she told me about that, and I knew the kid's father, so I investigated what they told me. And that started me interested. I always thought, though, before that, I believe in, you know, all the, whatever they say is existing out in the Northwest. That's why I thought this stuff happened. I didn't think it happened in New York. So I put trail cams out in this area, and like 6 months or so, and I really got nothing at all. And that's kind of frustrating, but I went on a map and I expanded the area, and I said, you know what, this would be a good place to look too, which was about only a mile away as the crow flies. So I went there on a January 8th, I think it was, back in 2014 maybe. And I just hiked, and something was telling me, people may laugh at this, but people just, not people, but something in my head was telling me to take certain trails, because there were trails all over the place. So I just followed what they said, or whoever was talking to me. And I walked down this one trail. It has an Indian name, just to mention that. I walked probably 3/4 of a mile, and I came to a little knoll where the sun came through the trees, and I could see where it melted the snow, and then it refroze. And right at that place there was a 17-inch footprint. And I stopped short, and I couldn't believe what I saw. And then I found another one next to it, not a different footprint. And I had a professional tracker check the pictures out, and they said, you got some creature walking around up there in January, or Shaquille O'Neal's up there. So that started me going up to this place, for 10 years now. And since then, I found many footprints, footprint trails, sightings, trail cam, compelling stuff on the trail cam, not a visible figure, because they would get really close to the trail cam and would white the whole picture out, but I could see the shape of whatever it was. And whatever it wasn't human. So that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And I've been keeping it quiet, slowly building and building and building. And once I had sightings, I said, maybe I should get this out there, let people know. Because whatever it is, it needs to be protected. Now, I'm not saying what it is, but there's something there. And it's awfully odd looking.
Gene, I got some questions for you. This is incredible.
Sure.
It sounds like we're talking about a creature that could be thought of as Bigfoot. Is that correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. Now, New York State is a big state. There's many different regions, some of which are really known for Bigfoot. Are you able to help give us a picture of maybe what type of region we're looking at when we talk about New York State?
I can tell you it's in southern New York.
Okay.
I know most of them are reported in like Whitehall area, but this is far from there.
Most people, when I talk to, we're talking about maybe the Adirondacks, we're talking about Whitehall. We also could be talking about Western New York to some people, but you're saying southern New York.
Southern.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to tell you too, besides what some people call Bigfoot, I'm not going to say what it is because I get too much ridicule when I say that. There is something else there, and there is more of the other type there than there are. If it's Bigfoot, I don't know, but there's more of the other type. The other type, some people call them dogmen. I don't know what they are, but I've shown some pictures to people, and they can see it. Other people never going to see it. I showed them clear pictures of stuff. They're never going to see it. They're going to say, "Oh, somebody in a costume." So I gave up on that. But other people have called it, "Oh, that's just pareidolia." That's the easy answer. And my answer to that is, when you have 50 pictures, and literally 50 pictures of the same shape, it can't be pareidolia. I can see one or two, but not 50.
That's so you're seeing a shape that looks like, I'm going to guess, some kind of dog head?
Yeah, they're juvenile, whatever they are. I see the adults are, you don't see them very often. I have seen them, but not very often. I see the juveniles all the time. They think they're good hiders, but I got their number now.
You've got them. You got them dialed in. Now, there's multiple spots around the United States, one of which I can talk about by name is LBL in Kentucky, where you've got Bigfoot in one area, you've got Dogman in the other. Sometimes they're mixed. There's some other areas I can't talk about by name, but you think that you've got this type of area going on where there might be a group of Bigfoot and a group of Dogman, perhaps?
Well, my theory is they're either, whatever they are, they're either related or they've learned to coexist. Because I've seen them, both types, in the same picture.
Have you seen anything outside of a picture at all?
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah, it's for in-person sightings. I've had maybe 50 or 100 sightings in photographs that I didn't see on the day, but when I examined my pictures later on, I could see them. They're so well camouflaged. but 4 sightings in person, and one I was 30 feet away from it.
Oh, wow.
And I think, I would say, I'm speaking about the group where I go. I think they're benign. I've been up there day and night by myself. Never bothered me. They even left food for me one time. So
they left food for you?
They did. I leave food for them.
What did they leave for you?
They left me a freshly killed mole in a torrential downpour, and oddly enough, it had a green leaf underneath it, like a garnish, like Japanese restaurant.
This might be a weird question, but how was it killed?
I have no idea.
Sometimes you could tell if the neck was broken or the body was kind of twisted. Just curious if that was
No,
anything.
This thing was intact. It
Okay.
was intact. I'm assuming that it was squeezed to death.
Please take a minute to help out the show by subscribing on YouTube, making sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications, and share the episode on YouTube with a friend. Also, if you're listening to us on a podcast, thank you so much. Make sure that you're subscribed, share the show with a friend. Really, it's all about sharing the show wherever you can. If you've had a Bigfoot encounter related to the following or know someone who has, please reach out to me at bigfootsociety@gmail.com or pass on my email. Here's the list. All right, I'm going to use this space this week to announce that I'll be at the Sasquatch Summerfest in Oak Ridge, Oregon as an attender. I won't be presenting or anything, but I'll be hanging out, trying to interview people that have had Bigfoot encounters. If you're from the Oak Ridge, Oregon area or surrounding and you've had a Bigfoot experience, please contact me directly, bigfootsociety@gmail.com. Also, Priscilla was nice enough that if you get your tickets through SasquatchSummerfest.com and use code BigfootSociety, you can get 50% off the cost of your tickets, which is a big amount. So code Bigfoot Society to get 50% off your tickets, SasquatchSummerfest.com, and helps out the podcast as well. A special thank you to all the Bigfoot Society Patreon and YouTube channel members. It's your support that helps keep the show going, and I extremely appreciate it. If you want to join in the fun, you can join over at patreon.com/The Bigfoot Society. I'll see you there. And again, thanks for listening.
Her and I can get on here and we can tell our stories. Maybe there's somebody else out there listening that's too afraid to tell their story. Maybe this will give them the courage to come out and not feel so bad about it. Who cares what anybody thinks? I know what I saw. I know what's out there. That's all I care about.
Please let people know. Please let them know. If you ever see one of these things, you need to tell. Because if you don't, then shame on you. You know? Shame on you.